Greetings, divine mirrors, sacred awakening, remembering gods and goddesses, one and all. Thank you for showing up. Welcome to episode 14 of Voices of the Global Awakening, Tuesdays with Tess, which has been going strong now for 14 weeks, every Tuesday from 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific time. I had to make an adjustment because I am presently in Cabo San Lucas on day 7 of a week-long training that ends tomorrow called the Extraordinary Facilitators Training. And the clocks changed on Sunday, so where we were same time as Pacific time up until Sunday, we are suddenly 1 hour behind, and I thought we were ahead, so that caused me to need to hop out sooner than I thought I would, but all is well. I'm glad to be here with you. As you may hear, I am hoarse, and that is from all the intense emotional release work I got to do. I feel privileged to have gotten to do yesterday, having been selected as the demo by the course leader, Monique Darling, and because I am a primal emotional release facilitator myself, not that she necessarily knew that about me, I really gave myself permission to take advantage of the opportunity to move a lot of dark, dense, stuck energy out of my being, out of my body, not only on my own behalf, but archetypally on behalf of the collective, certainly those of us who identify as feminine. And not to say that the masculine's feminine side doesn't also contain similar rage and their masculine side as well. However, from my own personal experience, I definitely feel like the containers that are safe for us to fully bring all of who we are, all the parts that our society has told us to suppress and repress and shy away from, and really embrace all of it so that we can transmute it out of our bodies where it tends to make us sick and depressed in all sorts of ways, and really push it back out into the light and transmute it into love energy, healing energy, because I promise you, it's like coughing up a deep hairball, and when you get it out of your system, it's really worth it. And it really feels in alignment with the topic that I had pre-selected for today, which is becoming right for you. So if you can put up with the squeakiness of my voice, I will do my best to hang with you for the intended 2 hours, because more and more I am dropping into the value of holding open a portal on a public platform in a downshifted frequency in this, sped up matrix reality where everybody is moving at hyper speed in this like time is money, neurotic sense of things. From my perspective, it's like the adrenaline that is running through everyone seems to be putting people at a habitual state of PTSD because we are so taxing our nervous systems at the pace that we've been programmed to function. So even the time I took to step away from the training, which I was torn about, because because the content was really powerful and impactful, and I've been getting incredible value all week long. Even still, it's like becoming right for you requires being true to yourself and honoring your own instrument, the amazing body, machine, computer, divine vessel that you have been given, and really tuning in to listen to what it needs. And my instrument needs to downshift into a really slow, peaceful, grounded place where I feel, and you can do this with me because it's good for me to do it now again. I'm moving my shoes out of the way. So if you're in a place where you can feel your feet touching the ground, which no matter where you are, whether you're actually standing on the hallowed soil, or you are in a skyscraper, or you're up in an airplane, your feet have a material plane base to land on, and the root word of material is mater, which means mother. So at all times you can ground yourself by having a certain portion of your awareness, just a little tiny portion of your awareness, to feeling the soles of your feet making contact with and being supported by the body of the mother, of the mater, that is the magical material plane upon which we perceive ourselves standing. When quantum physics has shown that all matter is actually 99.9999999% empty space, which is mind-boggling when you think about it, especially given our programming, which is more towards the mundane than the mystical aspect of things. And so consequently, it behooves us to ground that part of ourselves that feels physical, that feels material, that feels finite and fragile and mortal, and all those things. And it's not only the soles of our feet that we get to make contact with something stable in this plane, but we also do it with our bum in the seat that we're sitting on. And we can do it with our fingers in what the yogis call a mudra, and just feeling the calming sensation of what it is to put two fingers together and feel like, there is something stable in this material plane that is holding me, that is grounding me, or even a steering wheel or armrests or walking sticks or whatever they may be. So if we can put a certain portion of our awareness on feeling our connection to something in the material plane that maintains a certain density that we can connect ourselves to, we can immediately calm our nervous systems, bring our nervous systems down into this place of inner peace, quiet, and safety. So let's do that for a moment. And as we consciously choose to allow ourselves to sink in to the palpable softness of this field that is holding us and supporting us, we can also bring a certain portion of our awareness to our breath, the amorphous prana, life force energy that is surrounding us and circulating and animating us and always available to us at all times. And that invisible intelligence that is breathing life into us is the Father principle, the divine masculine principle. And so we can readily access that, the material plane, that which we can see and feel is holding us and sustaining us simultaneously to that invisible field that is animating us and providing us with precious life force energy that we take for granted. That is present, that is present, that is the present that is available to us to nourish and sustain us at all times. Whenever we get caught in that mundane reality and we get trapped into believing that time is money, and we get trapped into feeling like our time is finite and limited, and we are unstable and insecure, and we perhaps do our best to hide those feelings from one another because we are also programmed to believe that we must project confidence and we must project certainty. And so we seek to do it. You know, it's interesting. There's a wonderful story, and I use a lot of acting metaphor because I got my degree in theater, and I really resonate with a lot of things that you can apply to waking up onto the metaphysical path and seeing yourself as a blessed character in this divine play that was created by this amorphous intelligence. And so in the making of the movie Marathon Man, which starred Dustin Hoffman and Sir Laurence Olivier. And Dustin Hoffman was a New York trained method actor. And his way was, if he needed to portray struggle and suffering, to stay up all night and not sleep and not shave and keep himself cold and running in the middle of the night, and to really kind of wear himself out to deliver a believable performance. And that form of acting is called acting from the inside out. And he was working with Sir John Gielgud, whose method of acting was to work from the outside in. So what he would do would be to consider the character that he had been given to play. And he would consider what that character's gait was like, meaning how they walked, whether they walked fast or slow, and if they had a limp, and if they used a cane, and if they wore glasses, and what sort of affectation there was to their voice. And so he would if they wore a hat, so he would try on all these different affectations from the outside, and from that outside, he would find his way to portray a believable character. And I mean, the humor of the story was that he witnessed Dustin Hoffman and said to him, why don't you try acting? What did I say? Laurence Olivier, not John Gill. What did I say? Did I switch? Didn't I say Laurence Olivier? And then I switched? Is that what happened? Okay, well, thank you for correcting me. You know how I am with names. It's funny. Anyway, why don't you try acting, he said, to not necessarily need to punish himself in that particular way. And the thing about us is that we have over-identified with our characters, that we have been privileged to get to play here in this dimension. And so we have really taken on their suffering, and their struggles and their pain. And that is a very valid path. It's very valid because we incarnated in this dimension in order to get to experience this full range of human emotion that we may not get to experience when we're just amorphous spirits and we don't have a body. I mean, here we get to touch and taste and smell and think and feel. And so we have gotten value out of going to the edge of our feelings. And the thing is because, like they say, a fish can't see water. We have gotten stuck in these ways of being, and we are looking through a particular set of lenses that are wounded and have a well-worn groove, and we find ourselves, here we are again, and here we are again, and here we are again. And if we're lucky, we have some sense that life is actually magical and beautiful and mystical and sacred, and it shouldn't have to feel this way. You see what I'm saying? It shouldn't have to feel so painful. And I have found that the only way to back ourselves away from the knives that we keep stepping into over and over again, based on our self-fulfilling beliefs about the way the world is, or the way we are, or the way life is. And so slowing down and separating ourselves from our mirrors so that we can start to hear ourselves think. Pay attention to the dominant thoughts that are running through our minds, that are creating our reality. And as we slow down and identify those thoughts, we can go, wait a second, that's not serving me. That's not serving me to believe this. I'm hurting myself by believing this. And I'm creating my own experience with others because they're all mirrors on my stage, and I'm bringing those experiences to me. So when I do this by myself, there's nobody there for me to blame. And even though there's definitely some pain in that, to realize that we've been inflicting this pain upon ourselves, if we can allow ourselves to be slow enough to be present with ourselves, to be compassionate enough to be the kind of empathetic support person that we are with others, and that we wish that we could have for ourselves, we can actually like pull those pieces of shrapnel out of our body without bleeding to death. And we can clean those wounds. We can gently clean those wounds. And we can dress them, and we can cover them, and we can slowly and gently allow ourselves to heal. And now we're standing in a different place. And now we can change the lens through which we perceive by having identified any negative I am statements and finding positive ones that we can replace them with that we can believe, gently and slowly moving ourselves up the scale. So I have found that in order for me to be able to do that, I need to tune into my emotional guidance system, which by this point knows that it needs slow and quiet to drop in and calm down and ground, so that I can then hold this sacred space, which is the same physical dimension, but an entirely different vibrational, energetic field, which I believe is the difference between heaven and hell, or heaven and purgatory. Because, I mean, it struck me within the last week, given the latest thing in the Middle East, that at least this character was born into a nightmare. I was born into a world that was colored by the Holocaust and by the Vietnam War and by the assassination of Martin Luther King and John F. Kennedy. That's where I was born into. And that is the lens that I have been looking at the world through up until even October 7th and since. And it's like, if I'm responsible for creating the world I wish to see, then there's something in my sight that I still need to heal. So, to have this space that I am holding for 14 weeks now, for 2 hours, in an era where everybody is moving like this. And many of you, to my great astonishment and joy, are staying with me. You're hanging in here at this slowed down frequency where healing is possible and can happen, where we are slow enough to calmly, not frantically, examine our wounds together as evolutionary allies, and gently and lovingly take ourselves out from behind this barbed wire that we've encased ourselves in, so we can come back together. And the more of us that can hold this space, the more powerful and compelling and magnetizing our light will become. So I had pre-planned this theme, becoming right for me, for you, based on this song that some of you may remember. It was before my time, really, but it was made popular by Anthony Newley and Sammy Davis Jr. and Tony Bennett sang it, and I think even Jerry Lewis. And it came from a Broadway show called Getting My Act Together. And no, that's not the show. It came from God, now I'm not remembering the name of the show. It'll come back to me. It doesn't matter, because you can Google it and find it. But the point is that it was called I've Got to Be Me. And I was telling you all of this because I'm in this healing training, and I was the demo, and I released all this like pent-up rage and grief, which I'm very good at doing. And I really went for it. I really took advantage of the opportunity to be held in a container that could take it, and also be in a room full of people who are either already facilitators or stepping into facilitation on a certain level. And it was like, here is what is possible. here's what is possible for you with your clients, and everybody gets it by osmosis because it reverberates out into this field, this big purge and this big release. But the point is that I went for it, and I lost my voice, and so it's a little funny and squeaky for me to be doing this live, but the show must go on, and I want to share with you this song. So so where I got the name of this thing, Becoming Right for You. So it goes, whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong, whether I find a place in this world or never belong, I've got to be me. I've got to be me. What else can I be but what I am? I'm gonna live, not merely survive. And I won't give up this dream of life that keeps me alive. I've got to be me. I've got to be me. Willing to try to do it or die. I've got to be free. That faraway prize, that world of success is waiting for me if I heed the call. I won't settle down or settle for less, as long as there's half a chance that I can have it all. I'll go it alone. This is the part. That's how it must be. I can't be right for somebody else if I'm not right for me. I've got to be me. I've got to be free. Willing to try to do it or die. I've got to be me. So, I can't be right for somebody else if I'm not right for me. Becoming right for me is a phrase that has come to me many, 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 many times throughout my life. And claiming the affirmative statement, I am right for me, using our I am power, is a path to opening a portal to gently claiming and stepping into that, trying it on. I am right for me. I am right for me. Even if it doesn't feel true, it's like the Laurence Olivier outward in path. It's like using the power of our words that we use. I'm a word alchemist, a sacred word alchemist, to cast spells and pass sentences, and becoming extremely mindful of the words that we are choosing and allowing to come through our vessels, our sacred vessels, and be put out into this intelligent field. Thoughts become things. They are the way in which we manifest. So, this idea of becoming right for you, dropping into yourself, maybe putting one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly, and finding what that feels like. Because we have to find it in our bodies before our psyches can start to believe it, and our nervous systems can start to accept it, and we can start functioning at the pace that our uniquely designed instruments were created for, not the one that society has told us to function at, which is incongruent and punishing to our nervous systems. to our adrenals, to our physical bodies. So, micro, macro for me personally. And then for you, for all of you, for all of us, to hold this intention and to hold this space where we choose to transcend the man-made contrivance of a clock and a calendar that were designed as tools with an intention for us to be able to create coordinates in this infinite time-space reality. While we play this game of being embodied, we can continue to choose to play this game as mortals, just the way Samantha on Bewitched chose to play a mortal to please her husband who thought he was mortal, which is what everybody on this planet thinks. Or on I Dream of Jeannie, you know, the major wanted Jeannie to pretend to be mortal and not use her powers. So we've all been under this hypnosis, playing mortal. I have this group. If you look in the description, there's all kinds of different things that you can join to connect with me and go deeper down these rabbit holes, including reaching out to me privately if you want some one-on-one support. For me, the point, though, is that the game. So I have a group called a Waking Up from the Hypnosis of Mortal Reality. The game, like, we chose to come down in physical form to this plane in order to play this game. And my feeling about it is that the game has gotten out of control. There's too much pain here, and a forgetting that it's just a game and it's just a play, and that we are not these juicy characters that we have chosen to sink our teeth into, because the best roles are the most challenged and the most complex. And so we've over-identified, as I said earlier, we've over-identified with our characters. And so my preference and why I named this portal Voices of the Global Awakening is because it would be my joy and desire to see the veil lift and be able to look into the eyes of all my mirrors and see the divine recognition that we are all the beloved in disguise. The beloved arises in endless disguises, and that we are all walking, talking, living, breathing miracles, each and every one of us. And we don't have to leave these exquisite, unique, one-of-a-kind costumes and characters that we have been given. And we can stay in these bodies, and we can regenerate, and we can thrive, and we can become right for ourselves and actually delight in the characters that we get to play. So it feels super important for me to keep showing up and to keep finding more ways to show up than this. I mean, I'm doing my best to be gentle with myself and true to myself, because I don't want to get so caught up in the mission to save planet Earth, to save the humans of planet Earth, that I go into sacrifice, because I see a lot of that. I see a lot of beautiful, well-meaning world servers who feel this ticking time bomb. And so they overgive. We overgive. And we sacrifice ourselves. And it's not loving. And we are not fully embodying and modeling the opportunity that we are wishing to transmit, which is that time is an illusion, it's a construct, it's a tool. It's a wonderful device that we get to use and to stretch and expand or contract based on how we're feeling in our body, so that we can stay connected. All of our chakras, body, mind, and soul, and be congruent so that what we say, what we think, what we do are all in alignment and true to our core. Knowing that we truly are the ones that we have been waiting for, not as some overused cliche. But if you actually sit with it and humbly surrender to that truth, or possibility of truth feels too like, whoa, for you. But what does Anna say? I love this perspective. Our relationships are valid whether they last or not. They teach us about ourselves, and sometimes what we learn is hard to face. It is hard to face, and at the same time, if we decide that each and every character in the divine play is an evolutionary ally, including our enemies, like Lucifer was God's right hand, because it requires a lot of light to be willing to hold so much darkness here in this dimension. It's very dense and it's very heavy. So everyone here, if we can adopt the perspective that each and every one here is a gift, is a divine reflection, whether we like what they're showing us or not. We have such an opportunity to transmute, to face down that darkness, knowing ourselves as the light, knowing that underneath that overlay of darkness is also the light, because the divine, which is amorphous, all-pervasive light, needed to create darkness, to create this illusion of separation, to create this polarity in order to get to see and know itself. So our job is to claim ourselves and remember ourselves as the light, so that when we stand in the face of darkness, we do not allow it to overtake us, darkness. We just trust that our light is so bright that it can dissolve, evaporate, transmute, shine upon every dark corner until all we see is light. That is our opportunity here. And if we can take that on, we can get to this point where we are so ecstatically overjoyed to get to be here. Just to get to be alive. And be the extraordinary, unique characters that each of us is. Thank you for the time checks too. They can come a little further apart. Yeah. Silence is sacred. Becoming friends with peace and quiet and the unknown. Giving up programmed ideas of what it looks like to be a perfect person, a perfect presenter, a perfect healer, a perfect artist, a perfect contributor. And simply allowing ourselves to be grateful and in awe, trusting that this unknowable, benevolent intelligence that created our characters must want us here. And if it wants us here, then it is supporting and sustaining us. And if we can allow ourselves to accept that, what I call spiritual logic, we can calm down and we can slow down and we can feel into the ways in which we have been allowing ourselves to walk around in some form of pain or compromise that we have been justifying because we've bought into a story that this is the way life is. And I'm here to challenge that. And I'm here to offer you the possibility of finding your way to proper alignment inside your own being so that you can transmute and transform yourself into the happiest, most fulfilled, most grateful to be alive, excited, inspired version of yourself. Take a deep breath. It's all a matter of perspective and what lens we're looking through. And if we are disturbed by what we see, then it behooves us to go inside and examine our lens and find out what is the predominant underlying thought we are telling ourselves about what life is, or what we are, or what the world is. Hi, Tess, looking good. Sorry about voice, rest, and renewal. Yes, and it was a decision to go forward and still do this live stream anyway, because this intensive, I've been taking advantage of it in a very deep way to really get, ring every last drop of opportunity. Here's my yes ring, Leah. Leah got me this ring. Like my getting to be joyful, overcoming the programming that I was born into, shedding the unconscious thought forms that have been sabotaging my experience. And many of you who know me know that I have been on this path, purging and shedding for a very long time. So finding the balance between coming to a place of self-love and acceptance and gentleness, while still understanding that there's trauma stored in the subconscious that may very well be sabotaging our experience, and it behooves us to take the time to drop in with ourselves and invest in ourselves and make ourselves a priority, that our own healing is the greatest contribution we can make to this dimension, to our brothers and sisters, our mirrors, this world around us. So I would love it if any of you had any thoughts you felt to share, or have any programs that are related to this topic of becoming right for you, shedding the skins and the affectations and personas and burdens and limiting beliefs that are keeping you from really taking advantage of this gift of getting to be alive. This privilege is really not to be taken for granted. Okay, Leo wants to come on. Let's have Leo on. Inviting you now.
Hello, Miss Tess.
Hi.
Tess of the D'Urbervilles. No, Tess of Tess of the Great Beyond. I'm glad to be on here.
Thank you.
It's very
Nice to see
dark
you.
out, but yeah. Well, but what you were just saying was so important because, I feel like the last 30 years have been about trying to say goodbye to that which no longer serves me anymore, but it's painful. It can be freaking painful to go towards these traumas, and really take them on. And so I put on extra weight. I probably bypass. I go towards the fun stuff all the time, as you know. And so this really is a final frontier conversation type deal.
Well, it's interesting that you're saying that, because the Lawrence Lanoff, who's amazing, and he was the the facilitator today. I mean, much of what he was talking about was this, like, running towards the fear, running towards the yuck, because that is where our liberation lies.
Oh, I want to
Yeah,
write that
that
down. I
that
was
is
going to
where
take out a notebook and start
our
taking notes, That's where the
yeah.
liberation lies. And I feel that I'm right at that cusp, because if I keep going the way I am, nothing's going to change, and it will get worse, meaning like my health, my
Yes, our emotional guidance systems are constantly knocking on our door for
right,
our attention, and if we don't pay attention, it just gets bigger and louder and more dramatic
right.
until we finally do. Yeah.
Did you or Lawrence? I mean, does he? Because I know Lawrence. I think he's great too. I've just taken the one class with him, but with Monique on prosperity, ironically, when they were here. Um, and
I hope he will come on today, because he's offering that. I missed the afternoon session because I was preparing for this, and I put it in the group chat for this retreat of, like,
oh,
hey, I'm with all these facilitators, and you are all the voices of global awakening. So I know it's like
sure.
it's the 2 hour dinner break that this is happening during, because of the time change, because we didn't go through the time change like you did.
Oh,
So it was posted in that group chat that he is offering that, or some version of that course. And I'm like, oh my God, come on and talk about this. So I hope so.
oh,
I don't know so, but I
we should
hope
text
he
him or
or,
message him and say we want to hear
well,
it.
I mean, I don't want to bother anybody, because he put out a full day, but I did state it in the message group that everybody at this retreat sees.
Right.
So maybe
Well,
somebody will. But please go ahead. I
I was
didn't
just
mean to
gonna
cut you
say,
off.
I know there's obviously no magic pill. If we had that, we would all be taking it, but did you or Lawrence, do you have a good technique of kind of diving deep and having to go to these traumas? Because I'm agreeing with you that that is the medicine, and it's really, I love how you put it. That is the best gift we can give the universe, is healing of ourselves. And I'm stymied. I think the word is stymied right now. Do you know? Where I'm up against a
Yeah,
wall and
well, I mean, I feel like it's really important to be in a safe and sacred container with a fearless facilitator
right,
who is not afraid of your darkness,
right.
who has dealt with their own enough to understand the gold on the other side,
Mhm.
and is capable and willing to hold that space. I mean, that I do primal emotional release work with people, and I mean that's a
That could
profound.
be fun. I mean, that could be fun. And
I
clock
think
meeting at
it
asterisk.
well, it is fun because it's like such a relief
Right.
to be somewhere where literally all of you is welcome, all the parts that you are afraid. And when I say you, I don't mean just you, Lee. I mean,
No, I
you know,
know.
um, that if you let that out, that people are going to be repelled and they're going to run away, and it's going to seem toxic to them, and you're going to feel even more ashamed than by trying to go around hiding it as if we're hiding anything from anybody, really. You know what I'm saying? So it's like to get to be in an unconditionally, genuinely accepting space with a facilitator who is not afraid of your roar,
Right.
because the roar is protecting a hurt,
Right.
and the hurt is so between the roar and the hurt there's this big wall up that is not allowing love in and is not allowing love out.
Right. It's all
So
anger
it's
and it's, you know, knee-jerk reactions and things like
right,
that.
and so the thing is, it's like, and it's really interesting because when you take it to the next level and you take it into the sexual realms, because the sexual realms, from the tantric perspective or the somatic perspective, is that it is such an arena in which we have suppressed so much rage and shame
Right.
and stymied our expression out of our societal programming of good, bad, right, wrong.
Yeah,
Right?
that's true.
Right? When the insanity of that is that creation is sex, and sex is creation, and so sex is life.
Mm.
So we have cut ourselves off from our life force, and so it's such a magnified field. And so then you realize, like in the Vietnam War era, and the hippies were make love, not war, right?
Hmm.
Love and passion.
I think you were
What,
breaking up a
what?
little bit there. You're breaking up a
Yeah, it cut
little.
out for,
Yeah.
let's wait a moment for it to catch up. Is it good now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Um,
But I was going to
if
say,
we
like,
allow our,
oh, go ahead.
let me just finish
Sure.
this thought. If we can understand that energy in and of itself is neutral. It's not good or bad. It's just that if we label it bad, then instead of it flowing and being light and free, it becomes dense and stuck. Because this whole field is made of this thinking stuff that is love, that is creation, that is life. And if we're declaring any of it bad and wrong, we're taking that life force and we're separating it. And so now it's not flowing with the rest of life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. But what's
Okay.
coming up for me was really having this, PCOS, this polycystic ovarian disorder, where I wasn't able to have kids. It's like the flow of energy has been stuck for years, 20, 30 years in the
Right.
hormones. And, so I've personally, I've never really felt like that in the flow, except at very, very poignant tipping point top, events in my life where like giving birth to something like a retreat.
Well, we're
Event.
giving birth all the time. We're doing it all the time, right? One way or the other. Some ways are more subtle and some ways are more dramatic. And the subtle ways we may not even notice or identify it as such, like we just take it for granted. You know what I'm saying? But the point that I'm making is that if we know and understand that this hurt, this anger, this suppressed rage, grief, whatever it is purely trapped energy that needs to see the light of day. It needs to come out from those dark crevices and it needs to be, reunited. Like when we use a fire, it needs to be alchemized. Energy never dies, it just changes form, right? That's physics, right? So we take this dense stuff and we bring it to the light, and then it gets transmuted back into creation, into life force, into pure positive energy that we can then use again. And so if we know that, it's like we can go towards that energy with like almost sadistic glee, like fuck you and fuck this, and I'm coming for it and I'm coming through it and I'm gonna transmute it to the light and I'm gonna transmute it to love and I'm gonna transmute it to pleasure and I'm gonna transmute it to opportunity. You see what I'm saying? It's
I
like
love that.
it's
I
like
love that. I can see it in your essence and in your face, and you're like glowing, and it's yeah, it takes energy. It's like it's work. It's fun. I mean, when you get back to San Diego, would you offer this again? Like this is your transformational theater, maybe, or just the one-on-one sessions of doing
both
it?
both
Yeah.
both I want to do both. I mean, yeah, it's definitely something that, I mean, certainly it has felt to me like since the start of COVID that the world needs this. Is like the level of PTSD has jumped like,
Right.
sky high. And then now since October
Right.
7th, it's like PTSD is like, that's what it is. It's like the whole planet is in PTSD.
Oh my God, you're so right. You're so right. And I really want to help support you in offering these things and being a guinea pig, because I need it, and I want to help people get the word out, or get you the word out about what you want to do with it.
Thank you. So yeah, it's thrilling and it's and exciting and empowering to imagine creating safe spaces for people to, like sane asylums, for people to let their shit out, like to
Did you just
fucking
say? Did
go.
you just say sane asylums? I love that.
Yes, my sane
That's
asylum.
hilarious. That made my whole day, Tess. Hearing that sane
Yeah,
asylum. I love it.
you go
That's
sane asylums. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, the
So
closest thing
yes.
that I've
So
experienced.
my point is that it's like when you know that, you know what? In my favorite, you've
bit.
We're back. Keep going.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say one thing that the closest thing I've experienced to this year was doing this one session with Francoise about anger, and being in like this animal, and you could be really angry and take it out and like punch pillows and things like that. That's like the closest thing. And it was really freeing, like you're saying. But I'm liking what you're saying. It's like even deeper. It's really expulsion and digging in and really thanking it and saying goodbye. Or not even thanking it, just saying goodbye.
Yeah, it's like, so yeah, because it's like, you've heard me say this before. My favorite Abraham Hicks quote is, stop telling your problems. No, stop telling God how big your problems are. Instead, tell your problems how big your God is. And so when I see these things, and sometimes I forget and I get swept in the undertow and I get caught up in the despair of what is going on in the world. And then it's like when I regain myself, it's like, it's like, whose side am I on? Am I on the side of the darkness or am I on the side of the light? And then it's like, my God is bigger than all the bullshit on the fucking planet. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's like, bring it. If the darkness needs to come up in order to be transmuted back into the light from the bowels of the earth, in order for us to transform this stuff so that we actually wake up and the veil drops and we can see that we are in heaven on earth. We have been all along. We've just gotten caught up in the stories and the characters and forgotten that we are divine actors in this celestial play.
Thank you.
So,
That's
so
so
we're
true.
suffering. We're suffering because we over-identified with our characters. And it's like an actor that forgets they're playing a part. And then they're walking around and they're being shitty to their families. And you know what I'm saying? And they go psychotic. And it's like, I'm not that crazy neurotic person. You know what I mean? I don't want to be that crazy neurotic person. I don't want to
Right.
be that shut down depressed person. I want to be so happy and so thankful and so grateful that I get to be here in this physical body.
Yeah.
So lucky that it doesn't matter what I do or what I don't do. It doesn't matter what the story is. I'm freaking alive. How great is that?
Well, you just inspired me, Tess, because I was going to go to tonight, and I didn't get back from the pool. I couldn't wash my hair. My hair kind of looks like crap, and it was a sound healing tonight. And I wanted to make a good impression. I almost didn't go because I was afraid my hair didn't look good. It's all ego mind bullshit. But I think just what you just said made me see this point that I am going to go, and it's at 7
Right.
o'clock. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like this is why we're here. It's like that's just darkness, ego mind, less than bullshit. Do you know what I mean? It's not what we look like or anything
You
like
just
that,
got cosmic
or weird
confirmation by
things
that horn.
flashing. I'm going somewhere else where I don't have to hear it. You put me on mute if you can.
Oh, I can't.
Uh,
I don't know. Not without, no. Maybe I can.
Maybe I'll put myself.
Yeah, you can do it. Thanks for doing that for a minute. Wow. Okay. So Stu said 6 o'clock. Okay. Let's see. Mary Jo Connolly is here. Stu Schreiber, Andrea
There
Sperling,
you go.
Leah.
I can't believe
What?
it. She's in Italy
What?
right now. There you
Michelle.
go.
Michelle Helene. This is so cool. Hi, friends. Hi, friends. Ana Luisa. So fun. Stacy, oh my God. Stacy is my roommate here in Cabo. That's so cool. Who I've kicked out of the room for doing my live stream.
Well, I don't want to take up all the time, but if Mary Jo's on, I have to say hi if she's in Italy because we love
Oh, she
you.
says she
But you
just
got
got
back
back
last
last
night.
night. Yay,
Nice. Can't wait to
welcome.
talk.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, Thursday night, I don't know if Michelle is still here and wants to come in and talk about it, but Thursday night I fly in just in time to head over to her place where my dog and my car are, and she's having her open mic night. So,
Yes, I'll be there too. I'm
so,
definitely going.
so,
Yeah.
hey, Ariane, I freaking love you, Tess. I love you too, Stacy. Hey, Ariane. yeah. So anyway, we're having an open mic night. We are having an open mic night at Michelle's Neighborhood Speakeasy in Bayho on Thursday night. So if you're in San Diego and you want to go, reach out to Michelle Zwicker for information. If you play your cards right, maybe she will give you the secret passcode to come on over. Yeah. What time is it, Stu? I haven't asked you in a while. So Leah,
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
so
I'm
happy.
great.
Anyway, so becoming right for you. Say one thing about that and then go.
Okay. Becoming right for me. I think you're definitely onto something about diving deep into the crap, into the dark, and really, I keep wanting to say respect it. It's been there for a really long time, right? But then really saying goodbye to it. And I really want, when you come back, I really want to do a session with you that you just said that you do the
It's fun.
primordial, work,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's a very private, way to feel really, safe with all that stuff.
It really gets you back in your body. You know what I mean? Because
Like,
it's like we disconnect because it's like we store our pain in our body and then we don't want to feel it, and so we sort of try to rise above it, and we're you
and
know
that's
yeah
for me, the fat, people on the call know me, a lot of them, and this is where a lot of this excess weight and like this obesity stuff is all about. It's just trying to protect me from something way deep within. I don't need the protection anymore. I keep trying to tell it that, but it
yeah
doesn't want to listen.
yeah.
The real disconnect, and it's not getting better. It's getting worse. Like the scale keeps going up. So I need all this kind of help that I can.
Well, there's a piece of you that wants attention.
Say that
It
again.
wants attention, and there's a piece of you that wants and needs attention. And until you turn and give it your attention, it's gonna keep like
Right,
going. I
right.
don't know what. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, we continue. We can't figure it out on this call, but we will. And then at some point, you'll do your theater again, and
So
more people can come.
hopefully I'll see you Thursday night at Michelle's.
Oh, I'm definitely coming. I'm going to be singing, hopefully, with Jeff. We'll do another
Good. I
song
hope I have
together.
a voice by then.
I'm preparing some Crosby, Stills, and Nash songs with a third singer. So myself, Jeff, and this third singer. But that may not be for this Thursday. We're going to do it another time.
Okay.
Very excited.
Very, very good.
Thanks, Tess, and congrats on all of your wonderful work. And we'll see you when you get back. Come back
Sounds
soon.
good. All right.
Bye.
Blessings. Enjoy your sound healing.
I will.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Helene is here. Mary Jo says, thanks for your vulnerability, Leah. Absolutely. Yes. Um, where are we at? How are you feeling out there? Who's watching 608? Thank you, Stu. You can let me know again at 6:30 and 6:45 and then 6:50 and 6:52 and 8, something like that. Something like that. Anyway, so I'm broadcasting to you live from my bedroom in the condo in Cabo San Lucas, where I have been since I arrived last Tuesday and broadcast from here. The walls were too hard for me to put up my signature background that I have been using every week. That was a kind of way of branding. But, it's funny because it's like I'm playing with stuff and I'm experimenting with stuff, and my being, the goddess in me, is really seeking law of least effort and functioning at the pace of grace. I may call one of my albums that, the pace of grace. But so what ultimately may evolve as the best platform to be broadcasting from the best environment, whether it is like a stationary, stable, professional setup, which has really already come into my life as an opportunity in Escondido, 7 minutes away from my dear friend Helene's home, where I've been staying since December, which was an answer to my call for such a studio to show up. And then the part of me that so wants to be free and so wants to be uncomplicated and raw and natural and real and not affected and polished, because part of my purpose is to call you all out, because you each have a piece of the puzzle, and we all deserve to be seen and heard, and to find our voices and be held in spaces where we are received and honored as the divine wisdom keepers that each and every one of us is. And so, offering containers where I can invite you to share your voice and to share your face. You were given a voice to be heard. You were given a face and a body to be seen and felt and experienced, and not to be disembodied. And so to hold spaces to invite you to step up into allowing yourself to be the vessel and to be a muse and to be used, and to move from feeling deeply disturbed, as we all do underneath our facades, and to figure out what the source of our disturbance is, so that we can actually step into a space of being divinely delighted, authentically, genuinely, divinely delighted. Because we get to be here. We have been cast in this extraordinary, mind-boggling play with such meticulously crafted characters. And each of us, if we choose it, is on our own heroes or heroines journey, or what you would say if it's a they, I don't know. I have a friend that uses the term sheroes. Maybe that would work for transgender people. What does Leah say? Somehow I feel just so comfortable when Tess is speaking with such global thoughts. Oh, good. I'm doing my job. It feels good, it feels like a relief. I maybe talked about this once a long time ago. A friend used to talk about a philosopher named Gurdjieff and his teaching, which was called the Fourth Way. And he would say, every day we are given a download. And in order to make space for the new download, we have to discharge the download that was given to us before. And so, and that's part of what keeps us flowing, is that it's like if we repress our wisdom because we have stories going on in our heads about nobody wanting to hear us, or not being worthy, or who are we to, or whatever the story is. It's like we get stuck and we're doing violence to ourselves. We're hurting, we're taking this sacred creation that was made by our brilliant, genius, benevolent, unknowable creator, and saying, no, this vessel, this consciousness, this one is not good enough. This one is not right yet. This one is not worthy. And we keep holding back, and we beat ourselves up, and we make ourselves wrong, And it's like, we're talk about time, like in the arc of the play, we're in the 11th hour, kids. We're in the 11th hour of the play. And in this timeless time, it is time for us to step into our light, get out of our own way, and allow our vessels to be used. Thank you, Stu. To allow our vessels to be used. I have a song for you. It's what I wrote for myself in deep despair. And it's called Resurrection. I wanted to share my gifts with you. I wanted to be your muse. I wanted to make a difference here and let my voice be used. I wanted to sing your special song. I wanted to touch your soul. I wanted to know that I belong. I wanted to play that role. I wanted to feel that I was met. I wanted to be seen. I wanted the world to know my name and love me like a queen. I wanted to heal the wounds of war. I wanted to set you free. I wanted to watch your spirit soar and stand up for liberty. But there was so much in the way. All I could do was cry and pray that the day would come when my beating drum would break open heaven's door. How much stronger still, how much longer till I don't need to wait no more. I wanted to dance among the stars. I wanted to take flight. I wanted to bring you hope and peace and make your world more bright. I wanted to see you laugh with me. I wanted to steal the show. I wanted to taste more ecstasy and feel myself let go. But there was so much in the way. All I could do was cry and pray that the day would come when my beating drum would break open heaven's door. How much stronger still, how much longer till I don't need to hurt no more. Somewhere along the line I lost my confidence and almost my mind. I felt my heart break, become resigned, and nearly drowned in the daily grind. But now I'm coming up from behind. I got my energy all aligned. The time has come to restore my blind to the sight of thee. No matter how far I've fallen down, I must believe I can still be found. Just lift my mind from the hardened ground to recover me. I recover me. I recover me. Now I'm gonna share my gifts with you. I'm still gonna be your muse. Yeah, I'm making a big difference here and letting this voice, hoarse or not, be used. And that is the opportunity and the invitation that I am holding out to you to hear, everyone. my divine mirrors. Thank you for loving my lyrics always, Mary Jo. We are the ones we've been waiting for. It is not a cliche. We are the beloved arising in endless disguises, each here to deliver the news in our own way. So when you get here, when you get to this point, you can decide to be literally grateful that everyone is here, that everything is here, that it's all here. This is not only the divine play, but it's happening on multi-dimensions, on multi-different platforms, in multi-different genres, all at the same time. So we are witnessing romantic comedy, and we are witnessing metaphysical enlightenment, and we are witnessing sci-fi, and we are witnessing war, and we are witnessing horror films. We are witnessing it all at once. All of it is happening all at once. And we can tune in to whatever frequency, and we can tune into whatever channel absorbs us and fascinates us, and understand that some of us get value out of being scared, get value out of being horrified. We get motivated that way. We come up with innovations that way. We inspire programs and innovations, and whether it's planetary, whether it's climate change, whether it is the treatment of the animals. As you know, I am a very passionate vegan activist, because as the daughter of two Auschwitz survivals, I see animal holocaust taking place on a daily basis all over the world. Hundreds of millions, billions, who knows how many animals are killed for consumption on a daily basis. Other sentient beings that we have come here to be the stewards of and to hold loving space for. And it's like, this is all acceptable in God's creation. And I went to Burning Man. I've told people this story before. I went to Burning Man once, and what I observed there was the most sacred and the most profane are coexisting side by side, and everybody is being invited there to dress and embody as their most outrageous, freaky, fully expressed versions of themselves that in our sort of muggle society would be frowned upon and stepped back from and pushed away from. And in Burning Man, everybody is letting their freak flag fly high and being celebrated for us. And then eventually, over the days of being there in this desolate place that is all like sand and nothing growing, everything shifted. And suddenly it was paradise to me, because the most sacred and the most profane coexisting side by side, until my lens shifted and all I saw was that everything and everyone was sacred. And so it became paradise before my eyes, because of how everyone was treating and holding and receiving everyone as the divine versions of the beloved that they were incarnated to embody and represent. And so like when I use the metaphor of being actors and having been on lots in Hollywood on sound stages like 20th Century Fox and Sony Pictures and all these famous studios, where it's like all these different productions are going on at the same time. period pieces and futuristic things, and then the bell would ring for lunch, and all the actors would come to the commissary, which was this big this big cafeteria, and get their lunch, and they don't have time, many of them, to get out of costume, hair, and makeup while they have their lunch, to just be careful eating. And so you see people from all these different genres, and they're like out of character, they're not in their period piece, and so they're sitting in the commissary, discussing the here and the now with each other. And it's a beautiful metaphor for all the different roles that we have, that we play in this world. Or like this other song I wrote called With All Our Hearts, which compares us to instruments, unique instruments in the orchestra. That is the metaphor for life, and that each of us has our own unique, sacred tone and line to play. But when you put it all together, we are this divine symphony. Is there anyone else out there who would love to come on and chat with me and share your light and share your perspective, share on what it is for you to be coming right for yourself, on what that journey is for yourself, so that you feel good about living with yourself, and because we're each a micro of the macro, and as my heritage says, Judaism, peace in the home, peace in the community, peace in the world. And I take that to the next level of peace within ourselves. And peace is really the highest form of love. So if we can find peace inside of ourselves, and we can rest and surrender into a trust that whatever this intelligence is that conceived our characters and continues to breathe life into us, and the more we attune to that and celebrate it and be grateful for it, it seems to me that the more likely we can continue to embody these characters while allowing in the experience of more and more grace and ease, and have a better and better and better and better experience. So if we can slow down enough to apply this spiritual logic, to trust that, then it seems to me we can trust that that same intelligence that is animating this entire dimension and causing the tide to go in and out and causing new birth to happen and new life to form, whether it is animal, mineral, vegetable, it can handle all that we worry about in our human forms, because we cannot love and worry at the same time. We cannot trust and worry at the same time. So it's like being a little pregnant. You can't do it. It's like you're either on or you're off. It's very zeros and ones. It's very much like computers. And maybe this is a giant computer game that the characters are learning from the inside how to master. Any which way, any metaphor that speaks to you that you want to use, the ultimate bottom line is access comes through slowing down enough so that we can take stock of the controls that have been on autopilot, going in directions we don't want to be going, and grab hold of them and figure out how to work these instruments so that what we are outputting with them is contributing to the peace and the beauty and the thrival, not to the pain and suffering and chaos. Mary Jo, staying in Italy, family I've never met before, and finding they are totally loving to me. It's quite unbelievable. I've come back so happy and positive about life from the little time I spent with them. Wait, it says see more. Oh, is that all you said? It looked like it was going to be more. Oh, I'm so happy for you. That's so beautiful that you were guided an impulse to give that to yourself, and you gave it to yourself, and it turned out so beautifully. I'm really happy for you. Thank you for the time checks too. Let's take a deep breath. It's really about tuning in to notice and identify what is the lens that we're looking through. What is could be one phrase, sentence that we have passed upon ourselves that is dictating and coloring our entire experience. And mine, I really only just identified, not that I haven't come up with other versions of it before, because it's layers. It's like it's a spiral, and it's layers of peeling away that we're doing. Is that from the entry point that I made in this world and the decision that I made instantly. And if any of you ever studied with Werner Erhard, who back in the day created EST, that he eventually repackaged as the forum, I think it was, or something else. There was something else that he called it. Anyway, now I lost my train of thought. Oh, that when we are born, for most of us, our first experience of life is our head comes out from this dark, cozy place into this bright light that the obstetrician staff was using to deliver the baby. Harsh white light, and we're taken, lifted upside down by our feet, and slapped. So if we weren't already traumatized epigenetically in the womb, which I was, by my Auschwitz survivor parents, who I love and forgive, because this is all part of the story. They were not bad people. They were just playing their parts. And then, and our first experience in our bodies is of being, yes, landmark. I think you're right. I think it's landmark. Thank you, Mary Jo. And so our first decision is horror, is being horrified, and no, this isn't it. So instead of saying yes to life, our first experience is saying no to life. Let that sink in. So we arrive here and we say, this isn't it. No, this isn't it. This can't be it. This can't be what life is. I don't agree with this. I don't want it. Ariana says life spring. I don't remember now. I feel confused about it. Maybe it broke off into different things. I don't know. Somebody could do a quick Google search if you want to know. What did EST become? Werner Erhard's EST. But anyway, the point being, it's a powerful thing that he shared. Our first decision is horror and terror and shock and despair. This isn't it. This can't be it. That's what we're born into, unless we have a gentle birth. I don't know how many people have had that. So if we're stuck in our characters and think that we are these mortal, finite beings. We can get caught in victim mode, and we can feel guilty. Well, not guilty, we can feel cursed, and we can feel unloved and unblessed, and consequently create so much pain, miscreate so much pain and hardship for ourselves. And if we are blessed to have some part of our psyche that is the neutral witness, the caring, benevolent force that is observing us and is silently holding a space for us to find our way to unraveling the spells we've cast and the sentences we have unconsciously, subconsciously cast upon ourselves. And we have the courage to go in and patiently, painstakingly dismantle them. We have the possibility of completely healing ourselves and regenerating ourselves, or like the Bible speaks about, restoring the years the locusts have eaten. So by holding, starting with these 2 hours a week, broadcasting at this slow, calm, peaceful pace, I feel I am holding open a space, a frequency, where if you feel called, you can step into and reclaim yourself and dissolve all the pain that you maybe have been living with, that on the other side of it has simply served to give you so much compassion for your brothers and sisters and their journey and whatever the sources of their own pain may be, because evolution is a team sport, as my old friend and teacher Matthew John used to say. Evolution is a team sport. We're all walking each other home. We're all doing this together. And it's more fun. It's more fun to do it together. It gets lonely. It's important to get alone, and I don't see any way around it. Because even if, some of us are out here planting seeds, we still each need to do our own individual work, and still having people hold space for us and having people to celebrate with on the other side it's what we're here for. It's why we incarnated now. I'm pretty sure of it. And if you don't give up, if you don't throw in the towel and say this is too hard, and you say you're going to stay in the game, I think you can. I think I can, and I want to, because no matter how hard this game has been, I still would rather be here than not. And I mourn my friends that didn't feel like they could, even though I understand. And everybody's on their own journey. And I surrender because I have no control over that. don't know whether I actually even have control over how long I stay embodied. But it's fun for me and intriguing for me to believe that by releasing all the toxic rage and resentment and bitterness and despair of not wanting to be here and replacing it with genuine gratitude, I think there's a possibility there. And that's a game I'm up for. I'm very grateful to all of you who are choosing to hang in here with me. It means a lot. When two or more are gathered. I'm glad, Leah. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We're the Messiah banging at your door. Look in the mirror, see who's watching you. You are the deity you're praying to. I am you, you are me, we are one. I am you, you are me, we are one. So, I would love if you would help me. I probably should have said this sooner. But I would love if you would help me by inviting other people to this broadcast when it goes live. You can do it before, during, or after each week to get it on other people's pages, which would then potentially magnetize other people who are attracted to the frequency I'm holding. And if you have your take on your piece of your voice in the world, what you're bringing to the party, or if you want support in finding it, and if you have links to share about anything that you may be doing or offering, I'm happy to have you come on and shine a light on you and have you share that with the rest of us. And then I could also use some support because, up until last week when I knew I was going to be traveling and I wasn't sure if I was going to be broadcasting at all or not, I chose not to create a Facebook invitation for this, which I can't tell from my side whether by creating a container around it, it's not broadcasting publicly and it limits who sees it to only the people that get invited to that. So last week and this week, I'm going live directly from my page without having created an invitation. So, I definitely can use some tech support as it relates to understanding algorithms and stuff, and what would cause this to reach the most ears and eyeballs and hearts. And if you read in the description for this live, you will see all sorts of different groups that I have that you could join and follow and contribute to. You will also see my Spotify page where you can follow and share and support my music ministry, as well as some cash receiving platforms if you feel called to contribute energetic love offering currency to the evolution of this, because my intentions are to grow and expand. My intention still is to manifest the perfect physical space for the next incarnation of my temple, the Universal Temple of Expanding Consciousness, as a resident retreat, lifestyle space and event space. So far seeming wanting to be in San Diego, but open to elsewhere. And here's my yes ring given to me by Leah, so say yes to Tess. So yeah, so you can go to the description and see all sorts of different ways if you feel called and inspired to share and support this community enrichment endeavor of mine, this brainchild. And there's a lot of alignment for me here to keep going with this. And so that's my plan. Say yes to Tess, say yes to Tess, say yes to Tess, say yes to Tess, say yes. Say yes to Tess, say yes to Tess, say yes to Tess, say yes. When you're feeling blue, don't know what to do, got nowhere to turn, and the rent is due, say yes. Yes to Tess. When you're feeling great, got yourself a date, luck is running high, no use tempting fate, say yes. Yes to Tess. Short, sweet, to the point with the moxitude to rock the joint, say yes. Yes to Tess. Say yes. Yes to Tess. Say yes to Tess. Say yes to Tess. Say yes to Tess. Say yes. Say yes to Tess. Say yes to Tess. Say yes to Tess. Say yes. I'm a sassy dame with a snappy name. Got a heart of gold and a high octane loaded with finesse. Honey, stop the press. I'm the one to see when you need justice. Get it? Say yes, yes to Tess. Say yes, yes to Tess. When you spell success, spell it T-E-S. I bring the ear-catching numbers that'll lift your spirits. Who told you so? Oh, T-E-S, period. Louder, please, I cannot hear you. Yes, yes to Tess. Say yes, yes to Tess. Say yes to Tess. Say yes to Tess. Say yes to Tess. Say yes. Say yes to Tess. Say yes to Tess. Say yes to Tess. Say yes. And I want all of you to write your own theme songs. Mary Jo, I found this by accident tonight and so happy I stayed. Love your perspective and metaphors. Thank you, brave warriors. Tess. Yes, Mary Jo, thank you so much. Tell me, I want to know whether you do it here or if you want to do it privately. How did you find it by accident? Did it come on your notifications and say Tess is live right now? Because that's the piece that I don't understand, is only the people that I tag, or because I set it as public. And so it's unclear to me how many people are actually getting exposed to it, because scrolling through Facebook, so it wasn't in your notifications, it just came up in your feed. Okay, well, maybe I can get some support in figuring that out, because yeah, I once I was at a songwriters meetup, and this amazing man came to inspire us, and he had this satchel, and he laid all one after the other all these Grammys out on the podium. He was a Motown guy, and it may have any notifications, but I didn't look at them. I just crawled. Okay, well, if anybody would be open to looking at their notifications to tell me if it shows there, that would be good information for me to have, but it's okay. It's like I've done a series of live things before. I was doing daily stuff, and it was like a little much for me because I was getting caught up in the numbers of how many people were watching. And this time around, I really just decided that, to not be attached to that at all. And it's just about me discharging the information, and me being a micro of the macro, and the healing that happens just as a result of taking it out into the light from inside, where it's suppressed and exists in the shadows, because I could be alone in my own head forever. Because I mean, I do feel grateful that my own thoughts inspire me, and I get a lot of value out of sitting and listening to them, and it's like if I don't share them, then it just gets stuck. So I do this for me as much as for you, and the fact that you hang with me is a blessing and icing on the cake and very encouraging. So however many people see it now, I do. Oh, so this is what I was starting to say, is that when I was doing it in that group, after it would post and I would go back to the replay, it would give me the option of downloading it onto my desktop. And by the way, the only way that you can come on here and talk to me is through a phone, through your Facebook phone app. You cannot do it on a desktop for some reason. I don't know why. Or a laptop. You can't do. But on a phone you can. But the point is that when I was doing it inside that container, it was giving me the option of downloading it, which I would do immediately when I finished, onto my desktop, and then upload it onto my YouTube channel to create a YouTube link for it so that it can be distributed more. And these last 2 weeks where I have been doing it directly from my Facebook page, I'll figure it out today. If it will give me the option. But last week it did not allow me to download it so that I could upload it to my YouTube channel. So anyway, so this guy came and he put all these Grammy Awards on this podium, and he was really encouraging us into our sharing of our gifts, because he said, you are here to touch the world. Each and every one of you is here to touch the world. And that again is consistent with my heritage upbringing, which it was lech lecha, be a light unto the world. So it's like, I mean, Judaism also says that you save one person, you save a whole world. So it's not really about numbers, but given the opportunity that we have in front of us with this amazing technology, where we literally, it is the World Wide Web. We've got the whole world in our hands. The potential and the possibility of how many lives we can touch with our perspectives, with our awareness, with our love, with our consciousness is staggering. So, you didn't come here to hide your light. You didn't come here to hide. You came here to transcend your own reservations, for whatever reason you have them, in order to be the fully expressed, fully actualized version of you, unique you. So I'm here to represent and encourage you. Yeah, yay, Tess. Enjoy the rest of your time in Cabo. Can't wait to hear more about your time in the Leadership Week. I look forward to sharing it, and I will see you, God is willing, in 2 nights. Thanks for being here. 6:50. Thank you, Stu. Yes, you polish over here and it shines over there. Yes, correct. Yes. So allow your perceived imperfections to be perfect. Stop trying to be polished. Stop trying to be prepared. Just be you, doing the best you can with what you have. And if my technology never gets past this point, because I don't want to get more sophisticated, because I don't want to get more tethered anywhere, then so be it. So it'll be what it is. But it's not my bells and whistles. It's my message. It's my frequency. Right? Same with you. 6:55. Thank you, Stu. I so appreciate you doing this for me. I am so grateful we get to be here, connected, all of us, healing my heart, healing my psyche, helps me to see the beauty more clearly in each and every one of you incarnated characters. Because each of you is exactly as our Supreme Creator created you to be. So who am I to have a problem with any of it? So as I realize that, I can become softer, humbler, more gracious, more patient, more understanding, more forgiving of everyone, of all of you, and of myself. We each have legitimate reasons for feeling hurt in the story of the characters that we chose to play. And we each deserve compassion for the intensity of our journey and our experiences and how long we may have been carrying this hurt around. The hurt, the despair, the anger, the rage, the grief, the resentment, the bitterness. And we don't have to stay stuck there. We don't have to. There's a way out. And we don't have to leave our bodies necessarily to feel that relief. All I know is, in my case, and I can thank my mother for this because I inherited my mother's will. My takeaway from my journey with my mother is that I can survive anything. So, it's not okay with me to leave this world a disappointed, unfulfilled, unsatisfied character. I choose to succeed in my hero's journey, my heroine's journey. I choose to find my way to transmute the energy, to transcend my circumstances, to realize that it was a role, a juicy, complicated role that I agreed to take on in order to cultivate my compassion so that I could hold space at this level and beyond. That's why I incarnate. And I assert that whatever your story, your soul has similar aspirations. So a moment ago, I referenced another one of my songs, Finding My Own Way, which I probably don't have time to sing. No, I don't. I got 1 minute left, but I do invite you to go to the description and check out my Spotify page, and you can start with the song Finding My Own Way. And that will be my parting song for you tonight is over on my Spotify, and you can join over there. And if you don't have Spotify, You can look it up on YouTube. You could just type in "finding" with an apostrophe at the end of the N, not finding, my own way, and plus sign and TES period. Mary Jo, you've inspired me tonight. Grazie, grazie, my sister. 7 p.m. with a jingle on my tongue and a tingle. No, with a jingle on your tongue and a tingle in your heart. You will stay forever young. You will see the world as art. You will sing with every rainbow. You will wish upon each star. You will let yourself imagine. And this gift will take you far. Good night, beloveds. Thanks for being here. I will see you next Tuesday. Blessings.